Lamar Jackson should be this year's 2023 NFL MVP. Don't overthink it. If the NFL somehow messes this up and gives it to somebody that is non-deserving, it will forever tarnish the prestige of winning Most Valuable Player. The award itself this last decade has basically just become Best Quarterback on the Best Team award. We all remember the last non-quarterback to actually win the award was Adrian Peterson back in 2012 when he rushed for 2,000 yards and damn near broke Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing record. Even farther back, the last defensive player to actually win the award was Lawrence Taylor back in 1986.
Hey, Shula, you better hope I never get back in there. I will kick your.
To give that some perspective, Ronald Reagan was the president of the United States the last time a defender won NFL MVP. You're trying to tell me that there hasn't been 1 year since that the best player in the world has come from the defensive side of the ball? 2014, they gave the award to Aaron Rodgers, and it was very much deserved. I mean, bro damn near threw for 40 touchdowns and only threw 5 picks. But here's the thing, Aaron Rodgers wasn't the best player in the world in 2014. No, the best football player on the planet was no one other than J.J. Watt. If you guys remember, J.J. Watt had a 4-year stretch where he was undeniably the best defensive player on the planet. After that run, he was so good that there were some people calling him arguably the best defensive player of all time. And at the height of his reign came the year 2014. The dude had 20 and a half sacks, 2 defensive touchdowns, and oh yeah, he had 3 receiving touchdowns to go with that as well. The MVP award in 2014 should have went to J.J. Watt. He was the best player in the entire world. And it's safe to say over time that the NFL community doesn't hold the MVP trophy up with as much regard as it once has. I'll be the first to say it right now. If they go ahead and give that award to Brock Purdy this year, that will be the end of the MVP trophy as we know it. The exact same way people no longer care about the Pro Bowl. Don't get me wrong, Brock Purdy has played great this year. I mean, he's the starting quarterback on arguably the best team in the league, and he has great numbers to go along with it. But that doesn't mean that he should automatically be in the MVP conversation, let alone win the actual award. All year long, as the 49ers kept winning games, his name slowly and slowly just kept creeping up into being the MVP favorite. Not once though did any of us actually think, yeah, Brock Purdy is definitely the best player in the league right now. Because if we're going off the name of the award, it says most valuable. I'd make an argument that Brock Purdy, he's not even top 2 most valuable players on his own team. Christian McCaffrey put up godly numbers this year. If anybody on San Fran should win NFL MVP, it should be him. And before nagging injuries slowed him down, Tyreek Hill was on pace to have the greatest season a wide receiver has ever had. And somehow Purdy's name was always still above his in the MVP race. With all that being said, the MVP award doesn't always have to go to a quarterback. But if you're going to give it to a quarterback this year, it better be Lamar Jackson. Lamar, for most part of the year, wasn't even in the MVP conversation. While Lamar hasn't put up the touchdown numbers that he has in the past and his rushing statistics aren't as high as they have been, he has thrown for a career high in passing yards. It really wasn't until week 16 and 17 where everybody was like, yeah, this guy should be the MVP. That's the beauty of it though when it comes to the game of football, where the numbers don't always tell the whole story. You have to actually watch the film and watch how a player actually impacts the game. Week 16, Lamar went on the road against a San Francisco team where, like I said, is arguably the best team in the league, and he made that defense look absolutely silly. Then they come out the very next week and put up 56 points against a really good Miami Dolphins team. While Lamar threw 5 touchdowns, they clinched the number 1 seed in the AFC. Both nationally televised games, the world was actually able to sit down, watch Lamar, and it was evident that his abilities are just on another level. I mean, he goes head to head with the quote-unquote favorite to win the MVP, Brock Purdy, on Monday Night Football. And against one of the best defenses in the league, he makes it look easy. All the while, Brock Purdy handed his defense 4 interceptions. That's why it was awesome to see that, because for the average fan who just looks at the stats, they would think that, oh, Brock Purdy's the quarterback on the best team, he's got these great stats, yeah, give him the MVP. But a lot of people don't know that a lot of his production, not all of it, but a lot of his production has come from just short passes to CMC, Debo, Ayuk, and Kittle, and just having them do their thing. Whereas Lamar, when you actually watch him, he's out there making plays, making stuff happen, creating something out of nothing, and that's where the word valuable comes into play when we talk about MVP. But if it's the best quarterback on the best team award, then just come out and say that. Brock Purdy would still be in the running, although Lamar Jackson would probably still win that award with the way the Ravens ended this season. Even that man LeBron James himself chimed in and said they just need to go ahead and give Lamar his MVP. And LeBron knows a little bit about being snubbed for the MVP. Although he's got 4 to his name already, he should have about 1 or 2 more in his trophy case. The real conversation needed to be had though is that if Lamar gets his second MVP trophy, that puts him in some elite company. If and when Lamar wins this league's MVP award, his name is up there with Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Tom Brady, Steve Young, Joe Montana, Kurt Warner, Johnny Unitas, and Patrick Mahomes as the only quarterbacks to win multiple MVP awards. The only non-quarterback with multiple was Jim Brown, which is also telling to some degree. But his name is going to go up there with some of the greatest quarterbacks to ever touch a football field. Which means his legacy is solidified, and there's going to be a lot of people that don't like that. Have we ever seen a quarterback get more negativity spewed their way than Lamar Jackson? All these media outlets and journalists from the time that Lamar stepped off campus at Louisville and into the NFL draft have just been downplaying his ability to actually play the quarterback position. I recently talked about how Sean Payton said that Russell Wilson needed to stop trying to be a politician and be a football player. I also discussed how it's not uncommon for these quarterbacks to give off politician vibes. As they are scrutinized and under a microscope by everybody, the least they can do is be likable. Lamar came in the league and from the jump he said that he's not changing, he's going to be him through and through, and either you're going to like it or you're not. And that is exactly why Lamar is a fan favorite. I mean, people love Lamar Jackson. He comes off as just a guy you can chill with, he comes off as real, and he's personable. That, and he's been killing the game ever since he took over as the Ravens starting quarterback in 2019. Lamar Jackson will continue to knock down doors and break ceilings that others put on him all the way to the Hall of Fame. Because whether you like it or not, if he gets another one, the history of the game cannot be told without talking about Lamar Jackson. Now all he needs to do is bring a Lombardi trophy back to Baltimore.